The Han Dynasty. It was a golden age for China. For 400 years they prospered. They built grand canals and mighty walls. Their silken inventions amazed the world. But even the strongest empires can crumble. The machinery of government ground to a halt. Taxes went uncollected. Infrastructure crumbled. The once great armies grew weak. The empire was ripe for the taking. In the villages, farmers struggled to survive. Their pleas for help fell on deaf ears. The officials were too busy lining their own pockets. The whispers of rebellion began. At first they were just whispers, but like a single spark, they soon grew into a raging fire. General Zhao surveyed the troops. They were ill-equipped, demoralized. He was a soldier, loyal to the Han, but he saw the rot eating away at the empire. He had fought bravely on the frontiers. He had bled for the dynasty. Now he felt betrayed. The court cared nothing for the army. He looked at his men. Their faces reflected his own despair. What was the point of fighting for a corrupt empire? Lord Wei was a nobleman. He was born into a life of privilege, but he was also a man of principle. He saw the suffering of the people. He tried to warn the emperor. He spoke of the corruption and the unrest, but his words fell on deaf ears. The emperor was controlled by his advisors. One day he discovered a plot. The emperor's advisors were planning to seize power. They would rule the empire as tyrants. Section 5. Mei Lin, the farmer's daughter. Mei Lin was a farmer's daughter living in a small village nestled among the rolling hills of ancient China. Her days were filled with the rhythm of the seasons, the planting and harvesting of crops, and the care of her family's modest farm. Her life was hard but simple. From dawn until dusk she toiled in the fields, her hands calloused from the labor, her face tanned by the sun. Yet despite the hardships, there was a certain peace in the predictability of her daily routine. She worked the land, prayed for a good harvest, and found solace in the rituals passed down through generations. Each morning she would offer a prayer to the gods, hoping for rain and a bountiful yield. But times were getting harder. Taxes were increasing, imposed by corrupt officials who cared little for the plight of the common folk. Bandits roamed the countryside, preying on the vulnerable. Her family was starving, their once fertile land now parched and barren. She had heard whispers of rebellion. In the quiet corners of the village, people spoke in hushed tones about the injustices they faced, about the need for change. There was a growing sense of unrest, a feeling that something had to be done, of a chance for a better life. The idea of rebellion brought a glimmer of hope to their weary hearts. They dreamed of a future where they could live without fear, where their hard work would be rewarded, not stolen. One day, a group of rebels came to her village. They were determined and passionate, their eyes burning with the fire of conviction. They spoke of justice, of overthrowing the corrupt officials who had brought so much suffering. They promised to overthrow the corrupt officials. Their leader, a charismatic figure, spoke eloquently about the need for change, about the possibility of a brighter future. His words resonated deeply with Mei Lin and her fellow villagers, to bring peace and prosperity to the land. The vision they painted was one of harmony and abundance, a stark contrast to the harsh reality they currently faced. It was a vision that filled them with hope and determination. Mei Lin decided to join them. With a heavy heart, but a resolute spirit, she left her home, her family, and the life she had always known. She joined the rebels, ready to fight for a cause greater than herself, for the promise of a better tomorrow. Section 6. The Barbarians at the Gate. Chaos unleashed. The Xiongnu were a fierce nomadic people. They had always been a threat to the Han. But now, with the empire weakened, they saw an opportunity. They raided across the border. They pillaged villages and slaughtered innocent people. The Han armies were too weak to stop them. The empire was crumbling from within and without. The people were caught in the middle. They cried out for a savior, but none came. Section 7. The Dragons Fall. An empire crumbles. The once mighty Han dynasty, which had ruled for centuries, was now on the brink of collapse. The empire that had seen so much glory and prosperity was now facing its darkest days. The rebellion spread like wildfire. It was not just a mere uprising. It was a movement fueled by years of oppression and injustice. The common people who had long suffered under the heavy yoke of the ruling elite found a new sense of purpose and unity. From the north, south, east and west, people rose up. They came from all the walks of life, farmers, merchants, scholars and soldiers. Each had their own grievances, but they were united by a common goal: to overthrow the corrupt regime. They were tired of corruption. They wanted justice. The streets echoed with the cries of the oppressed, demanding change. The air was thick with the tension of a society on the brink of revolution. General Zhao, disillusioned with the court, joined the rebellion. He had once been a loyal servant of the empire, but the rampant corruption and the suffering of the people had changed him. He saw no other way but to fight for a better future. He used his skills to train the rebels. Under his guidance, the ragtag group of insurgents transformed into a formidable force. They learned the art of war, the strategies that would give them a fighting chance against the imperial army. He knew they had to fight for a new beginning. The hope for a brighter future gave them strength. They were not just fighting for themselves, but for generations to come. Lord Wei confronted the corrupt advisors. He exposed their treachery. In the grand halls of the palace, he laid bare the deceit and betrayal that had plagued the empire. His words were a rallying cry for those who still believed in justice, but it was too late. The damage had been done. The empire was already crumbling from within, and no amount of truth could save it now. The empire was already lost. The once great cities lay in ruins, and the symbols of imperial power were nothing but shadows of their former glory. Mei Lin, now a rebel fighter, saw the palace fall. She had once walked its grand corridors as a servant, but now she stood among the ruins, witnessing the end of an era. It was a bittersweet victory. The rebels had won, but the cost had been immense. The land was scarred and the people were weary. The Han Dynasty was no more. The fall of the empire marked the end of an era, but it also signaled the beginning of a new chapter in history. Section 8. Echoes of the Han, Lessons from the Ruins. The Han Dynasty fell. It fell hard. The once glorious empire, known for its advancements and cultural achievements, crumbled under the weight of its own excesses. It fell because of corruption, greed and neglect. The leaders, once revered, became symbols of avarice. The markets, once bustling with life, turned into shadows of their former selves. The once mighty dragon was reduced to ashes. The symbols of power and wisdom, like the dragon, were no more. Scrolls that held the knowledge of generations were lost in flames, and the city, once a beacon of civilization, lay in ruins. But from those ashes a new China would rise. Just as the phoenix is reborn from its own destruction, so too did China find a way to rebuild. The dawn of a new era brought hope and renewal. The memory of the Han would live on, in their art, their inventions, their stories. The legacy of the Han Dynasty continued to inspire future generations, reminding them of both the heights of human achievement and the depths of human folly. The fall of the Han Dynasty is a cautionary tale. It serves as a powerful reminder of the consequences of unchecked power and the importance of integrity and responsibility in leadership. It reminds us that even the greatest empires are not invincible. The ruins of the Han stand as silent witnesses to the fragility of human endeavors. No matter how grand they may seem, it teaches us that power corrupts. The once noble leaders, consumed by their own ambitions, lost sight of their duty to the people. The throne, once a symbol of unity, became a relic of division and decay. And that the only true strength lies in the hearts of the people. It is the collective spirit, the unity and the resilience of the people that truly define a civilization. The Han Dynasty's story is a testament to the enduring power of human connection and the lessons we must carry forward.